Hey guys, Tom Page here, Real Anglers Fly Shop in Grass Valley, California. Today I'm going to tie up a March Brown Cripple. Here in Northern California, we're starting to see those guys moving around our local river, the lower Yuba River. So I hope you enjoy the fly. Okay, let's get started here. I'm going to go ahead and start my thread. I'm going to start it right there by the eye, just behind it. I'm going to wrap that thread all the way down towards the bend of the hook here, and I'm going to stop it right about where that barb on that hook starts rising upwards. Okay, and for the tail, I'm going to go ahead and use this pheasant. I'm going to use some pheasant tail fibers here, and what I want to do here is I want to grab a few of these guys, and I'm going to grab it off this side here. I'm going to probably grab, 5, 6 strands of this fiber, and I want to stand those tips. Let's see if I can get this where you guys can see it better. Maybe my hand back here. So I want to get those tips where they're even, standing even with each other, just like that, okay? Alright, now we got our pheasant tail cut out here, and what I want to do now is measure the length of it. I don't want it too long. I want it to be about the length of that hook, so right about there. And then I'm going to take it and just tie it right here where I stop my thread. Alright, and what I want to do now is grab the butt section of that pheasant tail, and pull that back. Then I want to grab me some extra small ultra wire in copper. Lay that on there. I went with the extra small, and I'm going to slightly pull it back. I went with the extra small just so I don't add too much weight. This is going to be fished on the surface, so you don't want it to be drugged down in any way. And I'm going to wrap my thread forward. What I'm going to do here is kind of go back and forth on that thread a little bit, just to add a little bit of taper in there. Mayfly's got a tapered body, and they're a little bit thicker up here on the thorax area. Alright. Now I'm going to go ahead and wrap my pheasant tail. Alright, go ahead and get those all tied in nice and tight. And you're going to take those pheasant tail fibers just about that 3/4, just past the 3/4 point. Trim off those butt sections. Then you want to take your copper wire, and now I'm gonna wrap this the opposite direction that I wrapped the pheasant on there. And the reason why is it helps lock those fibers into place so they don't get tore up if they get hooked by a fish, or the teeth of a fish grab hold of that. So we're just going to go ahead and counter wrap it all the way up the hook shank. And then I'm going to just helicopter that wire off. You don't want to use your scissors to cut that off. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is cut a clump of deer hair, or elk hair here, and it's kind of a brownish color on the tips, and that's kind of what you want. Put it in the hair stacker. You don't want to grab too much. You just want to grab maybe a quarter of a pencil width, eighth of a pencil width of a material. And I'm going to go ahead and set that on here. Oops, I'm sorry, I forgot to put the dubbing on. Put that back in my hair stacker. I'm going to go ahead and I got to put some dubbing on there, and it's going to be from Nature Spirits, March Brown. This stuff is pretty nice dubbing. This is great dubbing, actually. It's real soft fleece type dubbing. I'm not going to put a lot on there. I'm just going to take a little bit off on it at a time and slowly add it onto my thread. It's easier to add more dubbing than it is to subtract it off when you start tying that fly. Now I don't need a whole lot. All I'm going to do is just build a little ball right here. It's going to be kind of the abdomen of this fly. I want to put that dubbing on nice and tight, and you don't want it loose. You want it tight so it doesn't absorb too much water. Okay. I'm going to cover the bare shank with thread. Now I'm going to put the elk hair on there. I'm holding that on there when I make those wraps. I don't want it to spin on me. I'm going to cut that off, and I'm going to leave a slight little bit of that hump there on that deer hair, and that's going to help. It's going to be kind of where I wrap that hackle out, is right in there. I'm going to lift that deer hair up, or the elk hair up, and I'm going to do some thread wraps under there, and that's going to kind of help lift that wing up just a little bit. You don't want it to lift it up too high. Really make sure that that's tight so it doesn't come off. And I'm going to take a little ginger hackle here, and I'm going to tie that on right in that little, right there in that little V where I tied the elk hair on there. And I'm going to take a few wraps of this right here, and I'm going to do about 3 wraps of this right in that little collar there where I tied the deer hair on. Go and take a few wraps of thread right in there. Get it nice and secure. I'm going to take my scissors, instead of cutting it like that, I'm going to use the tips, open it up a little bit, put it in there, and slide it. That way I don't cut any of that material off. And I'm going to advance my thread forward right underneath that elk hair wing that I created. And then we're going to go ahead and whip finish it. And again, I'm not going to cut it. I'm just going to open up my scissors, put it on the thread, pull it taut. There you go. Little March Brown Cripple. We use this here on the lower Yuba River, and I hope you enjoyed the fly tying video. Thank you.